Good morning. I'm Pete Najarian. This is The Take. We had to push the time frame back. We had a Zoom issue. I think there were Zoom issues across the country actually going on, but it gives us the opportunity to do it right now. We still wanted to do The Take today because if you go back to last week, it was the worst week of 2000 since 2020. And that is definitely not good. However, Friday, we did get a bit of a turn. Things did trade a little bit better. We actually saw some positive moments within the markets. And we did get ourselves back into the green and on the Dow, but not much. And then it slipped back down. By the end of the day, we were down about 40 points. But the NASDAQ took off. It had a really great performance on Friday, up 152 points. So we did have some movement there. We also had crude that had dropped down all the way down to like 110. Then we look at the volatility index, still holding over that 30 level. And matter of fact, a little bit closer to 31, above 30 for the entire session. Gives you a little bit of an idea, even with the extended weekend, that we were still seeing that volatility level kind of hanging in there. A lot of people very nervous, understandably so, when you see what was going on throughout the weekend. And I'm talking specifically with Bitcoin, the ups, but primarily the downs. It was absolutely extraordinary to watch. And anybody who didn't get a chance, I would say that you might want to go back and look at that because it was very, very interesting. So 10-year and the 2-year last Friday, just kind of easing back just a little bit off of those highs. That gave the markets a little bit more room, felt like to me, because that 10-year and 2-year, when they've been on that upward path, we have seen a lot more selling. And then when we get those pullbacks or even back under 3, that's where we've seen a little bit more of the buying side. Consumer discretion, that was up a little over 1%. Now, we didn't have anything that was really just exploding, but that was up about 1% or so. Amazon, Tesla, definitely having a great day. Technology also had a pretty good day, and that was Microsoft, it was Apple, it was Netflix. You go through the whole list. The financials, a very nice day, specifically looking at something like a Wells Fargo, PayPal, some of the credit card companies as well, like Visa and MasterCard, had a pretty decent day. But energy, now that was where we did have a lot of movement. We had that move in the price of crude from those 120s all the way down towards 110. And then you look over at the energy space, down about 5.5%, getting absolutely hammered. There was names also that were working pretty nicely on Friday. We had names in the cruise area again, Royal and Caribbean and Norwegian, all having a pretty good day. Moderna had a pretty solid day. American Airlines, DocuSign, you get the idea. Lucid, some of those names, but it really was a lot of those big cap techs and financials that were really kind of carrying things along very nicely. The beta energy names, we talk about it all the time. When you get those beta energy names, yes, they move up extremely fast. They also move down extremely fast. That's part of the beta. It works in both directions. So you had names like Diamondback, you had ConocoPhillips, you also had names like Devon Energy and Pioneer and Phillips 66, PSX. You had a lot of different names. Exxon, Chevron, they were all getting pushed to the downside. Adobe, another one of those names. Throw in Walmart, throw in Match.com. So you get through the extended weekend. We watch Bitcoin getting absolutely hammered, but then start to make a little bit move back. And then we get in for the early part of the session. And boy, markets are absolutely taking off. In the pre-market today, we were up about 400 points. We've been up well over 500 points on the Dow so far today. We also had a really nice start of the day, 165 points higher for the NASDAQ. That just continued to move up. Then it was 2.25, 270, 300, 340, 300. We really have had a really strong move so far today in the NASDAQ, 3% plus, recaptured 11,000. The Dow recaptured 30,000. We also look over at the S&P, up well over 2%. It was up 55 early, got up 87, 88 points as well. So that's been actually carrying things pretty nicely. I look over at crude. It had been up a lot, 111, 112, eased off of that just a little bit. Volatility is still hanging in there near that 30 level. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. It was 21,000. Last I looked, it was actually a little bit higher than that, 21,500. Kind of building upon that. I look over at the 10-year and the 2-year, pretty close to unchanged last I looked, 3.28, 3.2 in that sort of a range. Then you look at the sectors. So what sectors are really powering this move that we are seeing to the upside? It's energy. Energy participating very nicely today. It was up nearly 5%. It's eased off of that, but still up well over 3%, 3.5% or so. We have technology was making a really nice run, up about 3% as well. Consumer discretion made a really nice run, up nearly 4% as well. So you look at big cap tech, and a lot of leadership, again, coming from Apple, coming from Microsoft, some of those names that just continue to be hit on certain days, but then on these moves to the upside, we're talking 3, 4, 5% moves. Very, very strong. So consumer discretion, strong. Financials hanging in there pretty nicely, up about 2%. Every single sector in the green, every single sector was over a 1% gain or more. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of just how strong things really are. Then you look over at NVIDIA and AMD, having a really powerful day. I look over at Tesla as well. Tesla took off, and I'm going to be hitting that in unusual in just 1 second. We also had Schwab, we had Exxon, we had Chevron, we also had Datadog, we had Lucid. All those names moved to the upside. I mentioned those tech names as well, but JP Morgan and Visa participating very nicely. Not everything is going great today. Not everything is roses. Sherwin-Williams, a little bit of a move to the downside. Some of those airlines, American and Delta, moving to the downside. I look at JD and NetEase. They were in negative territory. DaVita, that's a name that was getting hammered pretty bad. That was down about 10% last I looked. Now, for the unusual, and then we're out of here. Sorry about the movement in time, but we have to move how we have to move. Asher, that's number one. Now, that's the China 300. It's sort of like a S&P 500. This is their China 300. Now, this is very, very interesting because of the sheer size of what we are seeing. That particular ETF was trading right around 32.80. We had a buyer of 125,000 of the August 34 calls. That wasn't enough, so they decided to come back for even more. Oh, by the way, they were selling some downside puts as well. Extremely bullish move that we are seeing in ASHR, this Chinese 300. So then we get a buyer also of 50,000 of the August 36 calls. That was something that was pretty impressive. On top of that, I got to tell you, so we've got two major hits there. On top of that, how about Tesla? Tesla was trading right around 683. Very early in the session, we had a buyer of 3,000 of the June 24th, that's this week, of the 680 calls. So just in the money calls. Those are going for about $21. They are not cheap. Well, they got a lot higher because after that move, the stock absolutely took off to the upside and a huge, powerful move to the upside. Folks, if you get a chance, we have got ourselves a webinar tomorrow that's going to be great. It's about how to trade options. We've got a great group of guys here at Market Rebellion. We love sitting down, having an opportunity to discuss exactly what's going on in the unusual options world. Ryan's going to be joining me. It should be great. It's after the market close tomorrow. You got to sign up now. Hopefully you get an opportunity. Even if you can't watch it live, we'll send it out to you. I'm Pete Najarian. Have a great day of trading.